following is a presentation of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. Student-led, student-centered, student-serving.
Welcome in, everyone. This is the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. I am Frieda Wichman here with Carson Matthews. Tonight's matchup is the Frederick Golden Eagles versus the Berthoud Spartans. Carson, what are your thoughts on tonight's homecoming game for the Frederick Golden Eagles?
I think this is going to be a very competitive game. Frederick is really good at offense. Berthoud is great at defense. I think it's going to be a mixed match. I think it's going to lead to a great game.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Tonight is going to be a really good matchup against both teams. Frederick looking to pull a win for their homecoming game. Berthoud looking to pull a win after a tough loss against this week. They're looking to pull a win against Frederick. Frederick hoping to start off strong and pull a win. Carson, what do you think is going to be a big key for? Oh my goodness, Carson, what are some things that the Golden Eagles really need to focus on tonight?
I think first off, the Golden Eagles need to focus on watching out for aggressive aces from Berthoud. One of their players has 21 aces over her career this year, so I think Frederick really just needs to pay attention to their back row, and I think they really need to just make sure they don't get any aces in. Secondly, I think every team needs good communication. I think that if Frederick can have good communication with the ball and they can handle the ball well, I believe that they could excel perfectly in this game. And lastly, they need to have consistency, especially with offense, because like defense and offense, they're both equal. If you don't have one, you're not going to win a game. So I think they need to be consistent when it comes to almost every aspect of their play.
That is correct. Volleyball is really a game of consistency and communication. Once that communication stops, it's all over. And with that, let's head down to the third member of our sideline, Caleb Whitler with KK Martinez.
I'm down here with Coach KK. Coach, how was the first little bit of the season being a head coach at Frederick?
It's definitely a learning experience, learning new things. We have a ton of support from our admin team and our parents, and the girls are great, so we're definitely getting to know each other, but we're doing some really great stuff.
What are your expectations for tonight?
I expect us to have some fun. The girls are real excited that it's a homecoming game, and they're ready to keep their win streak going.
All right, thank you, Coach. Back up to you, Frieda.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, and thank you, Caleb. Back up top with me and Carson. Looks like Berthoud is starting to warm up. I'm seeing some very strong hitters, especially along the outside. Looks like tonight is going to be really competitive. I think Frederick really needs to be strong up at that net tonight. Carson, what are your thoughts on watching Berthoud warm up?
I think Frederick just needs to be able to block the ball well, and I think if they're able to block the ball well, it'll give their defense enough lift off their shoulders to where it'll make the game easier. And if they're able to block the ball, it'll reward points for them, which will ultimately lead them to a victory.
I think tonight is going to be a tough matchup. Berthoud is just looking to start off strong. Same with Frederick. It's going to be a really tough game defensively and offensively. And Berthoud has a freshman on their team this year, number 1, Addison Jones. She might be something to look out for as a freshman starting on varsity. It's probably she did well this year and might be a tough opponent.
Another player on Berthoud that we need to look out for is Libby Wilson. She's top in serving aces with 18 serving aces. This is why Frederick needs to watch their defense, and they really just need to not get aced on.
And that's where their serve and receive will come in handy. And this is why having Tatiana Staab on the Frederick Golden Eagles is so important. She leads the team in digs and she just is able to get that ball up for Marisol to set that ball for our team to get that ball over. And this is just going to be an interesting game. A lot of strong players on Berthoud and Frederick. Ava Reed, she averages around 3 kills per set. And so I think tonight, if Ava just keeps up with that consistency in the game and Marisol gets those sets to her, I think we are able to pull off wins for sets and then the game.
Yeah, I agree. Ava Reed is definitely something to look out for. She's definitely most consistent when it comes to hits, and I think definitely a big asset to the front line of Frederick.
Definitely, definitely. And with that, we will be right back on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.
Do you want a reliable realtor who you can trust with your money and owning or renting a home? Then you can turn to Zadell Realty, and specifically Greg Zadell. Greg is a local realtor who helps people buy and sell both homes and investment properties. He has an extended knowledge of the market and is extremely involved in the community. Along with being a local realtor right here in Frederick, Greg Zadell is extremely experienced in his profession. Not only is he a broker, but also the owner of Zadell Realty, located in the Carbon Valley area since 1980, just over 42 years as of now. Make sure to watch for the Zadell Real Estate article in the Consumer Report. You don't want to miss it. You won't regret it when you rely on Zadell Realty.
Like most backseat drivers, I'm all about safety. Uh-oh! Les Schwab tires is too. Because Les Schwab fixes brakes, steering, and more. See those guys? They just do tires. Eyes ahead, Dad! Look, I'm not telling people how to do their job. Blinker, I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first. Watch, they're gonna come greet me.
Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
Hey, I'm Jake Marsing, social studies teacher and advisor of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network, and you're watching GEBN. Go Golden Eagles!
And welcome back, everyone. Frederick has come out onto the court to start their warm-up. Everyone looking strong tonight, especially the middles. And let's just watch them and see who looks strongest. As always, Ava with her incredible hits.
I'm seeing some very strong hits from Ava Reed. I think this is going to be an excellent night for her.
Tonight is going to be a great matchup. Looking at Frederick's warm-up, all of them are determined to get this win, especially since tonight is the Frederick Golden Eagles homecoming game, and we're just looking to pull a win.
Marisol's looking very consistent with those sets. It's going to be a great game for her.
Tonight is going to be a good game. I'm really excited to see all of our hitters up at the net to get blocks against the other team. And I'm excited to see what everyone can do tonight. It looks like Frederick, in their warm-up, likes to work on letting the libero, Tatiana Staab, pass to the hitters so they can hit. And that's just to warm up themselves in case there is an out-of-system ball, as there sometimes is in a varsity game where the setter gets the first ball and libero needs to take that second ball. This is just to work on that skill so they can get that ball over and get a kill. Passes are looking great tonight. Kyla Vorostic putting up some great passes for the setter. Tot doing very well. She averages around 4 digs per set every game. That means that Tot is able to get that ball up. Every chance she gets, she goes for everything. Nothing hits that ground. I think tonight is going to be really good defensively for Frederick.
I'm seeing a lot of great hits from every position tonight, and I think that is just going to lead to Frederick being very offensive, and I don't know if Berthoud will be able to handle the amount of aggressive hitters that Frederick has.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if Frederick just starts out strong, gets those points on the board, I don't think anything can stop him, especially with tonight being a home game. The rowdy crowd is showing out. Tonight's theme is Minions. It's going to be wild. I think it'll get everybody pumped up, and I think that if Frederick just keeps that communication strong, as you said before, and consistent in their points and their hits, I think we can pull out a win in this one.
Yes, consistency is key. All they have to be is consistent in order for them to be successful and win the game.
Looks like Tot is working on passing and setting. Sometimes liberos like to use their hands and actually set. Very rare, but we have Tatiana Staab, who is good at setting.
All right, now we can see what serves Frederick will be able to put. See if Marisol, that has 21 aces over this season, can get more for us tonight.
And I think after Frederick serves, that is when the game will start and we can get this going and we will see what both teams are made of tonight.
Frederick is being pretty consistent on serving. There's obviously some balls are going to the net, but I don't believe serving will be a problem for Frederick tonight with the amount of strong servers that they have on their team.
And watching them in practice all week, Frederick, serving mistakes are just a part of volleyball. Obviously, every team, it's just a game of not making the most mistakes. Frederick looking to start out strong, and tonight is just going to be a good game. And with that was the player introductions. Both teams huddling up now, discussing game plan, discussing what they want to do and how they want to start out.
All Frederick needs to do is start out strong and stay consistent, and they can easily win this game.
Looks like starting on the court will be Gianna Moore, Ava Reed, Marisol Tembrock, Ashton Strojink, Kyla Vorostic, and Gabby Abaguzuelia. Starting on the court for the Berthoud Spartans looks to be number 9, Audrey Gravestock, number 4, Brooke Nelson, and number 3, Sydney Downey for front row. Serving for Berthoud is going to be number 11, Libby Wilson, going to start off this game. 10 is Avery Titian. She is their libero. And number 2, Kylie Meek. Dig by Tot. Gianna Moore with the tip. Berthoud able to get that back up. Outside. And Ava able to get that pass. She goes up. And Berthoud able to get that ball. Still in play. And it is a dead ball. Frederick with the first point of the game.
Great hit by Ava Reed. I think she really knows how to play every situation the way that needs to be played. If the ball needs to get tipped, I think she'll tip it. And if it needs to get hit, she'll hit it.
That's the good thing about being a varsity player is they know when to hit and when to tip and what spots to hit that ball. And that ball is shanked out of bounds. Berthoud coming right back into this game. It is now 1-1.
It was just one bad pass by Frederick. Like you said earlier, mistakes are part of volleyball. It just matters who makes the least amount of mistakes.
Serving now, number 4, Brooke Nelson, the senior. Dig by Tatiana. Marisol sets it up for Gianna, who gets the kill.
That was an amazing hit by Gianna. She got up on that ball and she snapped on it and it went almost straight down. That is a beautiful hit by Gianna Moore.
Libby Wilson tried to get that ball but just could not get it up. Ava Reed. Beautiful serve by Ava. Berthoud able to get that kill. Number 9, Audrey Gravestock hit back corner. She saw that no one was back there but Ava, decided to go for it and was able to get that point for her team.
Ava's a great passer, but sometimes great passers can make mistakes.
Now serving Sydney Downey. In. Good pass by Ava. However, just a little miscommunication with the Frederick Golden Eagles on the court. Gabby did not see that ball. Marisol not able to get there. Just a minor mistake.
Communication is very key when it comes to volleyball.
Ava with another great pass. Gianna hitting in 9 and able to get that ball. The Berthoud Spartans tried to go up for a block but touched it on its way out, and so it is Freddie's point. Tatiana Staab now with the ball. The score is 3-3. Berthoud sets up their outside, and it is out of bounds.
Great blocks by the front row. The blocks made them having to hit over the block, which makes it go out of bounds.
Tatiana hoping to keep this ball alive. Beautiful ace.
That was a great serve by Tatiana. Tipped right over the net, and it confused them enough to where they weren't able to get a good pass.
And those are my favorite serves, where it jukes out the other team, makes them think it's not going over, and then, oh, it's over. Again, Tatiana with the ace. Back-to-back aces. That is the way to start out a game.
Tatiana is a very aggressive server. If you're not ready for those aggressive balls, you're just not going to be able to get a good pass up into the setter.
And most liberos are usually very strong servers. Berthoud able to get a dig on this serve. Dead ball. It looks like.
Looks like number 9 went under the net, I believe.
Those are just some hard balls to call, and it looks like Frederick gets that ball right back. Free point. Berthoud able to get that ball up. And Ava with the dig. Addie tips it over. Their libero sets. Back row hit. Larkyn Harford, just a small minor mistake there, hit the ball into the net. Nothing too big of a deal. The score is still 7-4. Frederick can get this ball back, and Berthoud will now serve.
That ball was very low. It was a very hard ball to hit. I think that if Larkyn either got to it sooner or if it was a higher set, she could have easily slammed that ball.
Sasha Carter. Beautiful serve by Sasha. Larkyn able to get that ball in, and the point.
Very great hit by Larkyn. This is what I'm talking about. Frederick is a very aggressive team when it comes to the net. If Berthoud isn't able to put up blocks or able to pass their hits, this is going to be a very difficult game for them.
Now serving for Frederick is Maggie Haring. Is up. Beautiful trick play. Marisol hits it over, and it is blocked by Berthoud.
Berthoud knows the ball was just barely rolling over the net, and they took the opportunity and just dumped it right on Marisol.
Yeah, Berthoud was able to see that Marisol was going to tip that over, and were immediately up at the net and able to stop that ball from coming over to get the Spartans the point. Number 2, Kylie Meek is now going to serve for the Spartans, hoping to keep this ball and get this point. Tatiana with the dig. A little too close to the net there for Marisol. Marisol tried to get it back up, could not, and Berthoud gets the point.
It's a very hard ball to receive because when it rolls off the net, it's very unpredictable to know where it's going to end up.
Kylie with the ace.
It goes back to what I was saying about communication. Communication would have led to one of them being able to pass that ball and potentially getting the point.
Kylie again. Tatiana with the dig. Larkyn goes up and is blocked. Berthoud gets the point. Berthoud looking really strong up at the net, especially when it comes to blocking Frederick's right sides.
Larkyn got blocked and then ended up lifting the ball over the net, which led the point going to Berthoud.
Kylie again. Tatiana with the dig, and Addie with the tip, able to get that ball over. That ball was in. That was a kill by Brooke Nelson, number 4.
That was a very hard ball to receive because when it comes to fast hits like that, it's very hard to predict if it's going to be out or in, and it's very hard to reach a spot if you're not already in it.
And with that, Frederick has called a timeout. And let's hear from our sponsor, FHS Booster Club. Frederick High School Booster Club is always looking for parent volunteers to help carry on the long tradition of supporting the students of this community. The purpose of Booster Club is to provide the funding and manpower for the homecoming tailgate celebration, the after prom party, grants to student groups and clubs, as well as scholarships to graduating seniors. If you're interested in becoming involved, we would invite you to reach out through our website, fhsbooster.com, and click on Contact Us or attend our next meeting in the FHS library. If you're wanting to be more involved in the community and have a desire to do something that benefits the students of our community, we'd love to hear from you. Again, please visit our website, fhsbooster.com, and click on Contact Us. If you'd like to get involved, we welcome any supports, not just parents. The FHS Booster Club is a proud partner of GEBN. Larkyn tips it over this time. And Berthoud almost got that ball over, not able to get it over. And Frederick gets that ball back.
Berthoud got very confused with that tip, and it led to the ball being all over the place, which led to them hitting it in the net on their third touch.
Now serving for the Golden Eagles is Kyla Verostic, hoping to get the lead again. This game is now tied 9-9. Berthoud sets up, and Brooke Nelson again getting that point for her team.
Brooke Nelson hitting into the block led to it going out of bounds, and it's one of the most important things as a hitter is to know where to hit your ball in order to either hit a block for it to go out or to go over the block.
Now serving Berthoud's libero, Avery Titchen. It is in. Tatiana with the dig. Marisol gets there. Ava keeps that ball alive. Miscommunication with Berthoud. Their setter set to the right side with no one there. Just a minor miscommunication between the middle and the setter. Addie Strozink with the serve. Berthoud able to get that dig. Addie, beautiful dig. Berthoud free balls it over. Marisol sets up Gianna. Just a little miscommunication. G was a little late with her hand, and that ball did not go over.
Gianna just didn't realize how far she was from the net and thought that if she tipped it just a little bit, it would just roll over the net, but sadly she was not that close to the net.
Libby Wilson now going to serve for the Berthoud Spartans. Kyla Verostic with the dig. Marisol sets up Ava. Berthoud able to keep that ball alive. Ava with a dig. Gianna Moore had the right idea of hitting that ball over, but her shoulder was just too far facing the outside, and that ball went out of bounds, giving Berthoud the point. Libby Wilson again. Kyla almost got that dig, but Berthoud was able to get the ace. The score is now 10-12. Berthoud has come back and taken the lead. However, messes up on that serve. Frederick gets that ball back.
I think that was just a bad toss by Libby Wilson, and bad tosses can lead to very bad serves because you need to hit it at a very exact point if you want a certain type of serve.
Now serving Marisol Tembrock, and she is a player that we said to look out for, especially with her aces. Berthoud able to keep that ball alive. Brooke Nelson, again, able to get that point for the Spartans. I think just from what we've seen so far, she is a really strong player tonight.
Ball just barely went over the block. I think just didn't have enough height on it. It just barely graced their fingers, and it just tipped right into the court.
Speaking of Brooke Nelson serves for the Spartans. Gabby Abuguelia able to get over that block and get the point for the Golden Eagles. Berthoud just a little mistake there, didn't get that ball over, and the Golden Eagles have it again, and Ava Reed will serve the ball.
They just need a little bit more power behind that pass for it to go into one of the two corners, which is the best spot if you're just going to pass it over the net.
Beautiful dig by Berthoud. Tip, and Larkyn Harford able to get that ball. Gabby hits it over. Frederick gets the ball. It looks like Berthoud touched the net.
I believe number 8 touched the net or went under the net, which leads to the ball going back to Ava Reed to show us what her serving is going to be like.
Brooke Nelson able to keep that ball alive. Marisol with the pass. Larkyn Harford able to hit that over. And again, Berthoud passes too close to the net, messes up their rhythm, and Frederick gets the point.
Like I said earlier, when a ball goes into the net, it's very hard for the team to get it out because it's very unpredictable about where it's going to go.
Ava again. A little too close of a pass to the net again, and Frederick gets the point. Berthoud, I think, in order to get that ball again, they just need to get their passes off the net. But as for now, Frederick just keeps getting those points, and Ava will just keep serving. So close, but that ball was just outside of the line, and Berthoud is able to get that ball. The score is now 15-15.
Ava is a very strong server, but that time she just hit it a little too far, and it just barely went out of bounds.
Sydney Downey serves for her team and is able to get that ace.
That is a very hard ball to get, especially with your fingers. If you're not ready to take that pass, it can be hard to get your fingers in place or get them stiff enough and able to get it up high enough for a set.
Yeah, doing an overhand dig is always really hard unless you've worked on it and worked on it. Gianna Moore with the tip. Berthoud able to keep that ball and hit it out of bounds. Frederick with the point.
Berthoud with a little too much power. I think what they need to start doing is having less power but starting to get on top of the ball in order for them to actually start hitting down.
Tatiana Staab with the serve. Berthoud goes for the kill and doesn't get it. Ava Reed with the dig. Gabby Abaguzuelia with the tip and is able to get that point.
Great tip by Gabby. She tipped it right into the donut hole, which is basically the middle between every single player, which is a great place because it leads to a lot of miscommunication.
Tatiana just a slight miss with her toss, and that ball goes into the net, and Berthoud gets that ball again. This is looking to be a close game. It is tied up 17-17.
This has been a very competitive game so far, going back and forth on who is being most aggressive versus most defensive.
Sasha Carter going to serve for the Spartans now, and it is in. Marisol back sets to Gabby. Sasha able to get that dig. That ball was out of bounds. Kendall Viget just hit that with a little too much power. Frederick able to read that ball and see that that ball was going out of bounds and get that point.
Kendall just needed to, instead of hitting the ball straight on, needs to get on top of it in order for it to go down versus up and out.
Maggie Haring with the serve. Again, Berthoud too close to the net, but able to get that one over and let Frederick mess up and get the point.
That was a big net match between both of them. It just kept going over and over until one of them messed up, which was unfortunately Frederick.
Number 2, Kylie Meek. Really tough serve. Larkyn was able to get that ball up, though. And that ball was set to Addie Strozink, who got the kill. Beautiful spot.
Addie was able to read the block and was able to read that if she was able to hit it in between their hands because they had a hole in their block, she was able to hit it off their hand and straight down, which was a great play.
Kyla Verostic with the serve. Berthoud able to keep it alive. However, it is called dead with a double touch.
Double touches are very common when it comes to digs or setters because it's very easy to misplace your hands while setting, and it can lead to a lot of points to the other team.
Kyla again with the serve. Berthoud struggling with Kyla's serves. Free balls it over. Marisol sets up Ava, who's able to get that ball over. Berthoud having to improvise. Brooke hits it over. Sets up Addie, who tips it out. She tried to hit that 10-foot line with the tip. However, it just had too much power and went out of bounds.
Yeah, Addie just added a bit too much power and just aiming a bit too much to the right in order for it to go out of bounds. She should she was aiming for the back right corner, which is always the best spot if you're going to tip or roll.
That was Avery Titian with the serve. Tatiana able to get that ball. Ava hit right into the block. However, those blockers let that ball go out of bounds, and Frederick gets the point.
That was a great block by Berthoud, but they just had their hands tilted a little too much to the right, and it ended up bouncing off their hands and going out of bounds.
Addison Strozink with the serve. Berthoud again, too close to the net. It even hit the ref, and Frederick gets that point. Timeout called, and it looks like this game is going to be a good one. Frederick Golden Eagles leading 22-19, hoping to close out this set. Now let's hear from Rocky Church. Would you like to meet an Olympian, connect with a D1 athlete, or talk with a Twitch streamer? Rocky Students is a part of Rocky.Church, and they are all about connecting students to their purpose. They believe students are the future, and their goal is to help you be empowered, encouraged, and supported. There are many ways to connect with Rocky students. You can start by watching their monthly podcast on YouTube, where you'll hear from guests on a multitude of topics. Show up on a Wednesday night to hang with friends and meet some incredible guest speakers, or even join their gaming community on Discord. Follow them on Instagram at RockyStudents_Frederick to learn more. Frederick went into that huddle. I assume coach just said, keep that energy high. Energy is probably the most important thing in volleyball, along with attitude. Once that energy and attitude goes down, then we start losing. So Frederick just needs to keep that energy high, and we'll be able to win this set. Addie Strozink, just a bad toss on her serve into the net, and Berthoud gets that ball.
Addie was on a streak there, but just a bad toss and bad footwork can lead to a ball like that, just going straight into the net.
Libby Wilson gets that ball over. Tatiana with the dig. Marisol just sets that ball too close to the net. Gianna Moore was going to go up to tip it over. However, the Berthoud blocker saw that ball and immediately brought it back down to the Frederick Golden Eagles side.
It's very hard to get a ball like that, especially when it's that close to the net.
Libby Wilson again. Kyla, however, able to get a perfect dig.
Great hit by Gianna Moore. Went straight into the block and straight down on Berthoud's court. This is what happens in a good hitter. They're able to hit into the block in the right place in order for it to either go out on them or straight down into the court.
Marisol Tenbrock. Ace by Marisol.
Beautiful serve by Marisol. She is the lead in aces for Frederick. She has shown some great serves tonight, and I expect her to keep showing more.
And Marisol being the leading server in aces means that she knows where to serve on the court. And it is very important, especially in volleyball, for a server to know where to hit.
Berthoud seemed to lift the ball, which gave Frederick the point, leading to Frederick winning the set, 25-21.
Frederick Golden Eagles able to pull out a win on the first set. That was a really good set. We saw some really good rallies between Berthoud and Frederick. What do you think went wrong for Berthoud that gave Frederick that win? Because it was a close game that whole time.
I think two of the main things that Berthoud did wrong was a lot of they missed 3 points because of either doubles or lifts or going into the net, which could these can lead to having like bad footwork to go into the net or bad handwork when it comes to setting a ball. And I think the other thing they need to work on is getting the block in the right place. I think they need to get over the net and push so that when it hits the block, it goes on Frederick's court other than their court.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Just like you said, Berthoud is able to get up on that net. However, their blocks are just not pushing it over and getting that ball back on the other side or at least in. And with that, we will be right back on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.
Rocky students exist to build up the next generation, to live a life of purpose, influence, and faith. You see, we believe that when you discover purpose, you start to discover you have a reason to live. And when you discover you have a reason to live, you start to notice you have influence. And when you lean into that influence, you make an impact. This world needs people like you, the next generation, to discover your purpose and to decide today the leader you want to be tomorrow.
Welcome back, everyone. Golden Eagles with a win in the first set. Berthoud hoping to pull a comeback and win the second set, hopefully to start off strong, and hopefully the Golden Eagles keep going strong.
The Golden Eagles have had some great serves tonight by Tatiana, by Ava Reed, by Kyla Verostic. I think so far they've been very consistent when it comes to serving and offense and defense. But Berthoud is lacking in some communication / could be footwork or just getting their hands in the right place in order for them to get the point.
Looks like refs are doing a lineup check. I think both teams super energetic to start the second set. And it should be competitive, especially with the players that we've seen tonight. For example, number 4, Brooke Nelson. She seems like a force to be reckoned with up at the net, giving Frederick a hard time to get those balls back up and over.
Frederick have had some good blocks during this game, but they do have the same issue as Berthoud has. Sometimes they aren't able to get up and push over the net, which is what leads to them hitting in the block and it going in Berthoud's side, versus when they go straight up, it hits their hands and it either goes through or it just goes straight down into Frederick's court. So that's definitely something that both teams need to work on during the second set.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's just going to be a game of who can make the less mistakes. I think Berthoud and Frederick are pretty evenly matched up tonight. We've got strong hitters on both sides, really good digs by both teams, and both teams able to be strong forces up at that net. Marisol Tenbrock, Berthoud with the dig. Little trick play, and Brooke Nelson able to get that ball in.
That was a great hit by Brooke. She was able to see that no one was on the opposite side of the court, and she was able to just roll it nice and short, and she was able to get the point for Berthoud.
Libby Wilson hoping to keep this scoring alive, and it is in. Ava Reed able to get that dig, however, just too much power with that dig, and it goes out of bounds.
That is a very hard ball to get, especially when it's a low, hard ball. It's hard to drop down and get the right angle in order to get a good ball for the setter.
Libby Wilson again. Reserves to Ava, who shanks it out of bounds, and Libby gets her team the ace.
Ava's having a tough time receiving Libby's serves, and I think if Libby is a smart enough server, she's just going to keep serving to Ava Reed.
Tatiana grabs that ball. Marisol sets to Gianna. Just a little off there with that set, and Berthoud gets that ball back.
That was a very low ball in order for Gianna to hit. She wasn't able to get her arm fully up and hit it. It was just a very low ball for her to try and hit up her hands.
Libby Wilson hoping to make this 5-0 for Berthoud. And she does. Berthoud now leads 5-0 in this set.
Frederick is having a really hard time with Libby's serves, and it's because Libby serves very hard and very low, which is, like I said, very hard for a lot of receivers to receive.
It is in. Tatiana Gabby able to get that ball over and through the block.
Gabby saw that there was a hole in the block, and she knew that if she hit right in the middle, it was going to deflect off of one of their hands, and it went straight into the court, leading a point to Frederick.
Ava Reed hoping to keep this team strong with the serve. And she does. Berthoud a little too close to the net, and some miscommunication between the Spartans. Frederick gets that point.
All she needed to do was, instead of trying to force it over the net, in that scenario, you just need to try and rainbow it, which is just a very high toss to the back of the court.
Ava Reed hoping to keep the energy up. Block by Gianna Moore and Larkyn Harford.
Gianna that is an amazing block. She was able to get up and over the net and was able to easily deflect that ball back into Berthoud's court.
That's what you want as a blocker, is Berthoud hit right into Gianna's arms and that ball went right back down onto their side. Beautiful block. Ava again, beautiful serve. Berthoud sets the outside and are again blocked by Gianna Moore and Gabby Abagazwalia.
That is a great block. They're able to jump up and get over and see that since they are on the right side of the court, get up and aim their arms the other way so it deflects back into the court and not out of bounds.
Ava Reed. Berthoud with the dig. Ava. Marisol. Little miscommunication with Frederick. Tatiana went for that ball at the same time Larkyn did. Able to get it over, however, Berthoud sent it right back over because they saw no one was in that back of court.
Yeah, just a bit of communication is very necessary on both sides of the court, because if Frederick was able to get that ball over and Berthoud had little communication, it could have led to a very easy point.
Carolyn Mahoney now serving. Tatiana with the dig. Gianna with the right side hit. Berthoud blocked again by Gianna Moore.
Gianna is consistent with these perfect blocks, able to get over the net and push, which leads to it going back into Berthoud's court, giving Tatiana the choice to serve.
Goes into the net, just a too bit of a short toss, and Berthoud gets that ball right back.
It's just a bit, yeah, like you said, a bit of a short toss and a bit too less power for it to just barely roll over the net, which is what Tatiana is known for, her serves.
Sydney Downey with the ball for Berthoud, going to serve. Looks like the refs are going over lineups. Had a couple of line changes, it looks like. Looks like Sasha Carter is going to be coming in front row for Berthoud. Sydney with the serve. It is in. Ava with the dig. Gabby hits right into the block. Tatiana tried to get that ball back up and keep it alive. However, that was just a tough ball to keep alive. Berthoud keeps the point.
Gabby hit the ball a little too low to the net and just clipped it, which gave Berthoud the opportunity to block it and hit it right back into Frederick's face.
Sydney Downey, Larkyn Harford able to get that ball. Looks like Frederick with the double. Berthoud gets the free point.
Like I said, with setting when it comes to someone that isn't a setter, it can be very hard to get your hands into the right place in order to not get a double or set it wrong.
Frederick really needs to get this point back. The score is now 9-5, now 10-5. Berthoud really starting off strong in the second set.
There's just a bit too much power behind Larkyn's arm. If she's able to get on top of it and make it go down, she can be an incredible hitter on Frederick.
Timeout called by the Golden Eagles. Hopefully the coach is just going to let everyone sit down, reset, and focus on what needs to happen in the game. Now let's hear from Zadell Realty. If you are looking to buy or sell a home, Greg Zadell at Zadell Realty is your community-centered go-to person. Greg is a local realtor and broker who has been selling homes in the Carbon Valley area since 1980. He's an active supporter in our community, FHS, and a proud partner of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. If you need a realtor with deep knowledge of the market, Greg Zadell is a great choice. Watch for his monthly real estate article in the Consumer Report or email him at gregzadell@zadellrealty.com. Greg Zadell and Zadell Realty, your community-centered realtor.
And Frederick gets back on the court after calling a timeout. Coach definitely told them to probably bring energy up and not to get in their heads. In volleyball, if you get in your head about a play or a certain thing that happened, it can ruin your entire game.
Sydney. Tatiana with the dig. Larkyn Harford tips that ball over. Berthoud gets the point.
Larkyn was just a little bit too late on that block. If she was able to get up earlier and if she was able to push into the court, she would have been able to get that point for Frederick.
Sydney Downey hoping to keep this score alive for Berthoud. Berthoud out of system ball. Libby Wilson goes up to hit. Gabby hits over that block.
That was a great swing by Gabby. It went right over the block and almost straight into Berthoud's court, but Berthoud was able to try and get it back, but unfortunately hit it out of bounds on Frederick's side.
Maggie Haring hoping to keep this ball for Frederick and get that score up. The score is 11-6, Berthoud in the lead. Sasha Carter, a little too much power on that ball, and it is out of bounds.
I think both teams are having the problem of trying to get on top of the ball versus hitting it straight on, because that's getting on top is how you hit it down into the court.
It is up and in. Berthoud tips it over. Beautiful spot by the setter. She saw that no one was in that back corner and pushed that ball back there.
That's a great spot to go if you especially notice the deep corners if no one's there. If you tip it deep corner, there is a very high chance that your team is able to get the point.
Sasha Carter is up and short.
A bit of a weak toss, I believe, and a bit of a weak hit. I believe she was trying to go short on the court, but just wrong footwork or wrong swing just led to it going into the net.
And that's a tough serve, especially being in a varsity team. Serving short is always a tough job. Kyla Verostic. Berthoud gets that ball over, and Addie with the ball over. Berthoud roll shots it back to Frederick. Ava Reed with the kill.
Ava Reed was able to get on top of that ball beautifully and was able to slam it down into Berthoud's court. That's what you need to do in a hit is get on top of it, so instead of it hitting out, you're able to hit it inside the court.
Kyla again. Berthoud hits it right back over to Frederick.
Great hit by number 8 on Berthoud. By Kindle on Berthoud. Like Ava, she was able to get on top of the ball and hit it down with all her power.
Berthoud right back with that ball, serving Kylie Meek. Kyla with the dig. Frederick just a tough ball to play. Berthoud now leads this game 14-9.
Berthoud serves that a little bit short, and short balls are very hard to read on who's going to get. which leads to a lot of miscommunication.
Is up and out. Frederick with the free point.
Seems like she just tried to aim for a back left corner, but seemed to hit it a bit too much left, leading it to go out on Frederick's side.
Addison Strozink hoping to keep the ball for Frederick. Berthoud out of system ball, free balls it over. Marisol, Gianna Moore able to get that ball back over and get that point for Berthoud.
Gianna was able to see that the ball was just barely rolling back over the net and did a quick hop and tipped it to the corner. That is a great option if you're a middle, to just get up. If you see it's barely coming over, just tip it right down or to a back corner.
Addie again hoping to keep this ball alive for Frederick. And that is a kill by number 7, Carolyn Mahoney.
That was a great hit by Carolyn. She was able to hit straight on the line, was able to hit deep corner, which are the hardest hits to read and to get because almost no one is ready for a deep corner hit.
Serving for Berthoud, Avery Tishkin. Kyla Vorostic with the dig. Marisol able to get there. Gianna Moore hits it out of bounds. Berthoud with the point.
Gianna with just a bit too much power on that. Not able to snap down on the ball enough, leading it to go out on Berthoud's side.
And the score is now 16-11. Berthoud in the lead. Again, serving for Berthoud, Avery Tishkin. Is up and out of bounds. Great read by the back row of the Golden Eagles.
Kyle Vrostic was able to see that it was out of bounds and did a duck in order for it to go past her and out. That's one of the most important things as a back row player, is to read if a ball is going out or not and to communicate.
Marisol Tenbrock with the serve. Berthoud kind of playing out of system, and they are blocked. However, able to get that ball back over and get the point.
That was a great block by Frederick, but unfortunately Berthoud was able to get that ball back up and was able to hit straight down on Frederick's court, leading to a point to Berthoud.
Serving is Libby Wilson, and we've seen some strong serves from her, especially in this set. Marisol able to get to that ball, and Gabby gets the point for the Golden Eagles.
That was a great hit by Gabby. She was able to get up on top of the ball and able to hit it down into the court.
The one thing that's good about the Golden Eagles is, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of our front row hitters hit everywhere. We've seen Gianna Moore hit right side, middle, and outside. We've seen Ava hit outside, right side, and middle. It's just been a very talented game. We have a very talented front row. However, Gabby is blocked by the Berthoud Spartans.
That was a very good block for Berthoud. They were able to see that Gabby was going up alone with no cover beneath her. It was able to just do quick pop up over the net, and was able to go straight back down on Gabby when she wasn't ready for it.
Is up. Carolyn Mahoney serves it out of bounds.
Good read by Ava and the entire back row. They were able to see it was going out and leading to a point to Frederick.
And this gives Tatiana Staab the chance to serve. It is in. Berthoud able to keep that ball alive. Tatiana with the overhand dig. Berthoud keeping this ball alive. And it gets the kill. Number 8, Kendall Viget, gets that kill. She is a very strong hitter, especially in the second set.
Kendall is very easily able to get on top of that ball and hit it straight to the back corner. Back corners are very hard to receive, especially when it comes to such a powerful hit like that.
Number 3, Sydney Downey, is up and in, dug by Ava. Addison Strozink hits right into the block. Golden Eagles able to keep it alive. Little miscommunication, but able to get that ball over. Marisol back sets to Gabby. Berthoud able to get a touch on it and tip it over. The setter is out. Frederick sends it back over. Tip by Berthoud. Frederick able to keep it alive. Larkyn hoping to set it down, and she does! Point to the Golden Eagles.
Great plays on both their sides. I love seeing both teams excel well in everything. It leads to a great match between them. The Golden Eagles are just a bit more consistent, which led to Larkyn getting up and hitting the ball down to the corner, giving Frederick the point.
Now serving Maggie Haring. It is up and out of bounds. Berthoud with that point. They now lead 20-15.
Maggie was aiming for that deep corner, but it's very hard unless you're a great server to hit that deep corner. And I believe it was just either improper footwork or just wrong hand movement in order for it to go slightly out of bounds.
Frederick, if they want to win this set, they need to get the ball back. The score is 20-15. Frederick really needs to push and get these points. It looks like there is another lineup check with the Berthoud Spartans. Number 6, Sasha Carter, coming in for number 1, Addison Jones. Sasha with the serve. It is right into the net. Frederick with that point.
She hit that serve a little bit too low. She wasn't able to get all the way up on it, and it led to it going straight into the middle of the net.
Kyla Verostic hopes to keep this ball alive and get Frederick back into this game. It is now 20-16. Freddie down by 4. Berthoud hits it into the net.
Berthoud hit that ball just a bit too low, was trying to just roll it over the net, but just hit it a little bit too low.
Kyla again with the serve. It is in, dug by Berthoud. Tip. Ava Reed gets that point.
Ava Reed was easily able to see that the blocks were angled outwards, so she hit straight into it and straight down outside on the opposite court, which led to Frederick getting the point.
And Freddie is now back in this game. The score is now 20-18. If Frederick just keeps pushing, they might be able to win this set.
Both teams so far during this match have been very consistent with blocking and hitting. I've seen some great hits on Frederick, and I've seen some great hits on Berthoud. This has been a very competitive match so far.
In order to get those points, what do you think coach is saying right now to the huddle of the Golden Eagles?
I think the coach is just telling them to not let score affect them or not let their plays affect them. I think she's just reassuring them that to remember back on the good plays and what happened during those good plays. Because the main thing they need to focus on is not getting in their heads. Because when a volleyball player gets in their heads, it can lead to them messing up more, and it can lead to the entire team messing up more.
I think you're exactly right. Volleyball is a game of your mental attitude, and once that goes down, then your skills go down. It's just a matter of how much you believe in yourself. Kyla Verostic again, hoping to get these points for Frederick. Berthoud tries to free ball it over, however, just some miscommunication on that court.
That was a great serve by Kyla. She was able to serve right in between two of the receivers, which is called the seam. And when you hit in the seam, it becomes a lot less likely that communication will be solid between the players.
Kyla hoping to tie this game. Tip by Berthoud. Maggie gets that ball back over. Back row hit by Sasha Carter. Marisol sets to Ava, who tips it. Free ball by Berthoud. Kyla with the dig. Marisol sets to Addie, who's blocked. And Berthoud gets that point. It is now 21-19.
Berthoud was able to aim that block to a part of the court where they saw that no one was on, which led to all of them trying to rush to the ball, but weren't able to make it, leading to point to Berthoud.
Now serving for Berthoud, number 2, Kylie Meek. Is up. Kyla getting that ball up. Ava, little too low on that ball into the net.
Ava's been very consistent tonight with getting on top of that ball, but for that ball, she just hit it a little bit too low, which led to it going more down than she wanted to, going it into the net on Frederick's side, leading to a point to Berthoud.
Kylie Meek. It is in. Ava tips it over. It looks like Berthoud is going to get the point. Another timeout called. This is a close game. Score is 23-19. I think Frederick called the timeout to reset.
I believe resetting in volleyball is one of the most important things, because when you do get in a bad mental cycle, it's very important to try and get out of that as fast as possible, because the situation Frederick's in right now is they are not out of the game. All it takes is a couple of really good plays, and they are right back to winning this set.
I think you're exactly right. I think Frederick's attitude right now needs to be the game is not over until it is over. Rowdy crowd being loud as ever, hoping to cheer up this team. Timeout is over, and Kylie Meek will be serving again for Berthoud. It is in. Marisol to Ava, who roll shots it. Good spot. Berthoud able to keep it alive, though. They are blocked. Brooke Nelson gets that ball over. Marisol sets to Ava. Joust. Ava wins it, but Berthoud keeps it alive and gets the point.
That was a very hard ball for Maggie to get. She had to, for her to able to get that ball, she had to jump up with her hands and try and get that ball with just her hands, which is a very hard thing to do when it's a fast and powerful hit.
Kylie Meek hoping to win this set. Kyla with the dig. Addie tips it over. Berthoud again tips it right back over. Addison Strozink hits right into that block, and Berthoud wins the set.
That was a great block by Berthoud. She was able to see where she was hitting and go right up to that.
And with that, we will be right back on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.
Do you want a reliable realtor who you can trust with your money and owning or renting a home? Then you can turn to Zadell Realty, and specifically Greg Zadell. Greg is a local realtor who helps people buy and sell both homes and investment properties. He has an extended knowledge of the market and is extremely involved in the community. Along with being a local realtor right here in Frederick, Greg Zadell is extremely experienced in his profession. Not only is he a broker, but also the owner of Zadell Realty, located in the Carbon Valley area since 1980, just over 42 years as of now. Make sure to watch for the Zadell Real Estate article in the Consumer Report. You don't want to miss it. You won't regret it when you rely on Zadell Realty.
Rocky students exist to build up the next generation, to live a life of purpose, influence, and faith. You see, we believe that when you discover purpose, you start to discover you have a reason to live. And when you discover you have a reason to live, you start to notice you have influence. And when you lean into that influence, you make an impact. This world needs people like you, the next generation, to discover your purpose and to decide today the leader you want to be tomorrow.
In Frederick, we believe in rolling up our sleeves, not just for ourselves, but for each other. We believe in playing outside until the stars flicker on and protecting the hallowed ground of childhood. We believe in a lifelong commitment to actions as good as our intentions. We believe in the power of our voices and the obligation of our hearts to form a strong foundation. We believe we are onto something that's worth all we can give it. Here, the life we dream of is ours to create.
I think the future is bright for Frederick. I think we understand our identity and who we are, and we don't want to lose that.
The town is really built on the community of people and how everyone almost treats people like family.
I see an opportunity to have a seat at the table and to show our worth and our value and our undeniable characteristics of being a lovely community that's welcome to all.
Hi, I'm Coach Matt Lloyd. I'm the head football coach at Frederick High School. You're watching the Golden Eagle Broadcasting Network. Golden Eagles, let them fly.
And we are back. Libby Wilson to start off this set with the serve. Gianna Moore hits that ball in. Brooke Nelson hits it to Kyla. Gianna with the tip. Berthoud out of system ball, hits it over. Marisol sets up to Ava, who gets the first point of the set.
Ava's been great tonight when it comes to hits. She keeps being consistent about getting on top of the ball and hitting it down. This leads to a point to Frederick for Marisol to serve.
It is in. Berthoud a little too close to the net. Puts the setter in a tough position, and Frederick is able to get that ball.
That serve by Marisol confused the other side enough to where the ball was going all over the place and they didn't know where to put it.
It is up and in. Berthoud again having to free ball it over. Marisol sets to Gianna. Tries to lay it down, but Berthoud able to keep that ball alive. However, they hit it out of bounds.
That was a good read by back row Kyla Vrostick. She was able to see that it was going out of bounds and knew that she didn't have to run for it.
Marisol with the serve. Berthoud hits it in.
That was a great hit by Berthoud. I think Berthoud and Frederick have been very consistent when it comes to hits.
Now serving Carolyn Mahoney. It is up and short into that net. Frederick with the free point.
It was just a bit too little power on that serve, not able to go over the net and roll over like she intended to. And this leads to Ava Reed with the ball for Frederick.
The score is now 4-1. Ava hoping to make it 5-1. Berthoud again, pass too close to the net, puts the setter in a tough spot, and Frederick able to get that point.
With passing closer to the net, it's very hard to get it off the net and get a good hit, which can lead to very easily hittable over the nets or just a dead ball.
Ava Reed with a good serve. This game is now 6-1. Freddie in the lead.
Ava Reed with the great and consistent serves. The ball is up and Berthoud again. A little too close to the net, but this time they send it over. Gabby hits into that block and it goes out of bounds. Gabby was easily able to read that ball and read her hands, so she was able to hit it between her hands and straight out of bounds, giving Ava Reed another chance to get a point for Frederick. Berthoud this time with a good dig, but into a block. Berthoud has to reset. Tatiana
Marisol to Larkyn, who gets that ball in and the point.
Very good timing on the hit with Larkyn. She was able to see that the block was barely over the net and that she was able to just hit it right over it and straight down to the court.
And with that, the score is now 8-1. Frederick really starting off strong. And now let's hear from our sponsor, Key Club. Need volunteer hours? Want to help our community? Then you should join Key Club, an international organization dedicated to service. Join us after school on the 2nd and 4th Monday of each month in room E118. Looks like Berthoud called that timeout just to reset. Starting off a set, letting the other team get 8 points and you only one, I think is a dignified timeout to re-talk strategy.
Frederick is going over just strategies on how to keep playing the way they are, to keep being consistent and being able to be aggressive on offense and aggressive on defense.
And with that, the timeout is over, and Ava Reed will serve again for Frederick. Berthoud with the dig. Sets. Tatiana able to get that pass, however, too close to the net, and Berthoud with the point.
Larkyn wasn't able to just get just high enough and just be able to tip it over. She barely clipped the net at the top, and it rolled back on the Frederick side.
And this has given number 10, Avery Titian, the chance to serve for Berthoud. However, Frederick gets that free point right back as that ball goes into the net.
Seems like Berthoud's having a problem with putting enough power in their swing. Multiple times during the night, if they've just barely clipped the net.
Tatiana Staab, beautiful serve. Berthoud having to play out of system. Marisol sets up Larkyn, too close to the net. Larkyn was a little late on that transition off, and Berthoud with the point.
That ball was just a bit too close to the net, because when a ball is too close to the net, you have less options on what you can play with. Larkyn tried to get over with a backwards tip, but didn't work out for Larkyn or Frederick, and it led to Berthoud getting the point.
Looks like Lisa Gobo, number 12, with the serve. Ava Reed, beautiful dig to Gabby, who puts it down on the court.
Gabby was easily able to see that there was a space in between the two defenders, so she slammed the ball right down the middle, giving neither of them a chance to even receive the ball.
Maggie Haring hoping to keep this ball alive for Frederick. The score is now 10-3. It is in. Berthoud back sets. Marisol to Larkyn. Larkyn to Berthoud. Berthoud able to keep that ball alive. And it is put into the block, however, able to get that ball back over. And Libby Wilson, that would have been a great hit. However, it just went right into the net.
She hit that ball a little bit too low on her jump. She was falling down while hitting the ball, not giving her enough height for it to go over the net.
And again, Maggie Haring serving. The ball is in. Tatiana with the dig. Ava, a little too much power on that one, and it is out of bounds.
Ava tried to hit back court, but fortunately put a bit too much power behind it, leading Berthoud to the point.
Kylie Meek with the ball. It looks like captains are talking to the ref. Don't know what that was, but Kylie Meek will serve. Marisol to Larkyn. Larkyn hits that just outside of that line.
That was a great hit by Larkyn, but just overcorrected a bit on hitting it down. She barely hit it out just with the amount of power and not being able to hit it down into the court.
Kylie Meek again. Marisol to Addie. Berthoud a little out of system, but they get it over anyway. Marisol to Larkyn. Larkyn tries to tip, but is blocked. They keep the ball alive. Marisol puts that over. Larkyn able to hit it back to Berthoud. Berthoud bringing it to Maggie. Addie tips it in. Berthoud keeping it alive. It is in. Marisol to Larkyn. Tip, and she gets the point from the rally.
Very long match there. They were able to, Larkyn was able to see that there was no one in the donut hole, which is between everyone in the middle, and she was able to tip straight into it, leading to Kyla serving.
Berthoud again having to be scrappy. Tatiana. A little miscommunication there between Addie and Marisol.
I think they could have talked a bit more. I think that if they just talked to each other about which position they were going to be in and talked to each other while the play was happening, it could have been remedied.
Sydney Downey, Kyla to Marisol to Ava, who goes up. Berthoud. Sasha Carter tries to hit that ball in, and it goes into the net instead.
She hit that ball while she was falling down, not giving her enough height to swing on it, leading it to just go little power and just down.
Now serving for the Golden Eagles is Addison Strojing. However, it is too short into the net, making this game now 13-7.
A bit too little power on Addie, but I believe that that could also be remedied by having better footwork or trying to serve to deep corners or deep versus trying to serve short.
Libby Wilson with the serve. Kyla and Todd both went for that ball, giving Berthoud the point.
I think that happened because they didn't talk about whose ball that was supposed to be beforehand, because back row knows wherever the ball goes who responsibility it is to take that ball.
Libby Wilson again. Frederick tried to be scrappy, however, Berthoud gets the point again.
These are some very hard serves from Berthoud. They keep hitting it deep backcourt in between Kyla and Tatiana, and it's a very hard ball for them to talk about and to pass successfully.
And I think Libby knows that Frederick needs to call seams more, or stuff like that is going to happen. Marisol sets it up to Ava, who hits it out of bounds.
Ava with a bit too much power on it, didn't get enough snap on it, leading it to go out of bounds on Berthoud's side.
The score is now 13-10. Libby Wilson hoping to keep the scoring alive for Berthoud. However, it is called out of bounds.
That was a very close ball. It is very hard to read those balls as a backcourt player because you don't know where the ball is going to end up before it hits the ground. So it can be very hard to determine where it's going to be.
Marisol, it is in. Berthoud tips it back court. Marisol to Ava, who puts it down.
Ava with the great hit, able to hit between the blockers, ricochet off their hands and down into Berthoud's court, giving Frederick the point.
Marisol again. Berthoud, Libby to right side. Kyla with the dig. Marisol to Ava, who tips it over.
Ava saw that no one was covering the hitter or the blocker on Berthoud's side, so she just did a light tip right behind the hitter, and she knew that no one was going to be there, leading to their point.
Marisol with a short serve, giving Ava Reed the chance to hit it back down to Berthoud and throw them out of system and get that point.
Ava was able to see that the ball was barely coming over the net. She popped right up and just slammed it back down in Berthoud's face, giving Marisol the chance to show us her serving again.
Libby sets the outside, and they are blocked. Keeping the ball alive. Libby goes up to hit, but hits it into the net.
Not enough power on Libby's side, but I also noticed that Frederick is running a triple block on some plays, which is very hard to get through with 3 people trying to stop you.
Marisol, little overpass. Ava read that ball and got the point.
Ava was able to see that no one would be on that side of the court. It would be a hard ball to pass, and she hit it right over, leading to Frederick's point.
It looks like Berthoud has called a timeout, with the score being 19-10. Now let's hear from United Power. Just a reminder that our broadcast is brought to you in part by United Power. At United Power, we're a proud partner of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network and proud to power local sports and local schools. United Power, your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
I think Frederick is being very consistent in this set versus last set where they had problems with blocking and passing certain balls, but this time I think over the break they've learned to get out of their negative headspace and able to be very consistent when it comes to every aspect of their play.
You can hear the rowdy crowd from up here hyping up the players on the court. Frederick hoping to finish this set strong. Marisol starting us off with the serve. Berthoud having to be scrappy and free ball it over. Kyla with the dig. Marisol sets up Ava, who hits into that block, and it goes out of bounds.
Ava hits into the block, but the blockers are not able to push over the net effectively, leading to the ball going out on Berthoud's side.
Marisol again. Short serve. And Berthoud can't get that ball over. Marisol.
Marisol is a very effective server. She's able to serve wherever with however much power she wants to serve it to.
It is up. Libby sets to outside. Number 12, Lisa Gobo, tried to tip that ball over. However, it did not go over.
She undercorrected on how close she was to the net and just wasn't able to get enough force or power into it for it to just barely roll over the net.
Looks like Frederick is doing some line changes, sending in number 8, Talia Martinez, and number 13, the freshman, Analia Pacheco.
Analia is getting her debut on varsity, seeing what she can add to the team.
Marisol. It is in. Berthoud with the dig. Set to right side. Who is in? Talia hits that ball over. Berthoud keeping it alive. Tatiana with the dig. Marisol to Analia, who tries to tip it over. However, Berthoud was up at that net.
Berthoud was there with the very big and forward block, not letting her able to tip it over like she wanted to, giving Berthoud the point and the chance to serve.
Number 7, serving, Analia with the dig. Marisol keeping the ball alive. Does it go over? It does not, and Berthoud gets the ball.
Very close play, but that was just a very hard serve for them to dig and then try to recover.
Carolyn Mahoney again with the serve for Berthoud. And this time it is out of bounds.
Added a bit too much power behind that, going out on Frederick's side, giving the freshman a chance to show her serving.
Analia Pacheco is swinging tonight for varsity. Going to serve and hopefully get this point for Frederick. However, it is just into the net. Little mistake there, but Frederick hopefully can get this ball back. The score is 23-13. Your Golden Eagles in the lead.
A bit too little power on that, but it's okay. It's just a simple mistake made on Frederick's part.
Number 10, the libero, Avery Tishin, serving for Berthoud. Too much power on that one, and it is out of bounds.
These past couple serves have either been a bit too much power or a bit too less power. I think they need to find the middle in order to get great serves.
Tatiana Staab. Berthoud a little too close of a pass, but is able to tip that ball back over. Libby sets up the middle. Analia tried to get that pass up, however, it goes out of bounds.
Tipped off the block to go to Analia, and she tried to get overhand pass with her hands, but very difficult to do that, leading for the ball to go all over the place, giving Berthoud the point.
Serving Lisa Gobo. It is up and in. Analia sets to Taylor, who free balls it over. Berthoud tips it over. Addie able to see that tip and give it right back to Berthoud.
That was a great play by Addie. She was able to pop up, see that it was just a barely tip over the net, and able to hit it or tip it right back into Berthoud's face, giving them the point, winning the set 25-14.
Beautiful win by Frederick. They now lead the sets 2-1. And with that, let's go down to the third member of our team, Caleb Whitler.
We're down on the court here. Been hearing lots of good things. Coach KK has been telling our players, stick together. Communication is key to have them communicate on every little thing that they can. Yeah, the energy's been really great for the Eagles, and let's hope they keep it up. Back to you.
Thank you, Caleb. And with that, Frederick hoping to win this next set for the game to be over. Berthoud hoping to force a fifth set by winning this next set. This is just a matter of mindset now. And with that, we will be right back on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.
One day these rats were playing in the wood. Well, it's some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try.
Only you.
Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
Hey, Kyle Michael here with Michael Real Estate and Remax Momentum, and I'm here at my office in downtown Frederick, Colorado. As a Colorado native and a resident to Frederick over the last 8 years, we truly understand the entire Carbon Valley and Colorado market. With offices in Frederick, Brighton, and Westminster, I cover the entire Front Range area. I've served over 130 families from Alt to Monument to Deer Trail to Grand Lake. As a small business owner myself, I understand how much time and effort it takes to be successful, which is why I continue to support local businesses, schools, and nonprofits through our Sip and Support series, coat drives, and other events. I value hardworking individuals. It is my mission to continue giving back as much as I can. We would love to serve you or your family. Give us a call, 303-944-4191, and go Golden Eagles.
Hockey students exist to build up the next generation, to live a life of purpose, influence, and faith. You see, we believe that when you discover purpose, you start to discover you have a reason to live. And when you discover you have a reason to live, you start to notice you have influence. And when you lean into that influence, you make an impact. This world needs people like you, the next generation, to discover your purpose and to decide today the leader you want to be tomorrow.
And with that, we are back. Starting off the fourth set, the Golden Eagles will serve.
That break gave Berthoud the chance to reset their mental game, probably giving them a better chance at trying to beat Frederick this set.
It was up and in. Berthoud having to be scrappy and free ball it over. Marisol to Gianna Moore, who is blocked by Berthoud. Tatiana tried to get that ball back up. However, Berthoud gets the first point of the set.
That was a great hit by Gianna, but Berthoud was there with that strong middle block, making it go straight down into Frederick's court.
Libby Wilson, who serves to Ava Reed, Kyla is able to get a touch on that ball. However, it's just a good serve. Frederick doesn't get that ball over.
That was just a hard ball to hit and a bad pass by Ava.
Tatiana to Marisol to Ava, who puts it down on the court. It looks like the refs are saying that that ball was in.
Great spot for Ava to hit. Hitting line is the hardest spot to try and decide if it's in or out, because the ball is coming so fast that half the time you don't have the time to decide. You just have to hope and pray.
Ava Reed, it is up and in. Libby Wilson sets to her right side. Marisol with the pass to Larkyn, who tries to tip it over.
Sadly, that ball was just a bit too close to net, giving Larkyn limited options. She tried to tip it over, but undercorrected and hit the tip of the net, giving Berthoud the point.
The score is now 3-1, Berthoud in the lead. Serving Kylie Meek. Marisol to Gianna. Berthoud back sets to right side, who puts it down on the court.
Very great hit by Berthoud. That is a very hard ball to read, especially when it's in between Gianna and Ava. When it goes to a deep corner, it's very hard to decide who should get it and how to get it.
It is up and in. Serve from Kylie to Gianna, who tips it over. Set to the middle. That was just a tough ball for Tatiana to get, and Berthoud gets the point.
Ball just went barely over Tatiana's fingers, going deep into the court, giving Berthoud another shot at getting a point.
Serving again, Kylie Meek. Ava Reed with the dig to Marisol to Larkyn, who hits it out of bounds.
A bit too much power from Larkyn. She has the right idea on hitting it down, but it's just a bit too much of an overcorrection on the amount of power she needed to hit that deep corner.
Kylie again. It is into Ava, to Marisol, to Larkyn, who gets over that block. Libby sets to her outside. It is in. Ava to Marisol, to Larkyn again. Berthoud again with the dig. Outside Tot to Marisol to Gabby, who tips it out of bounds. And it looks like the refs are not calling a touch on that one, so Berthoud will get the point.
Gabby tried to get a touch on that and tried to make them hit it out of bounds themselves, but seemed to just go right past their hands and go out of bounds.
Berthoud with the serve. It is 7-1. Kylie hoping to keep this alive. However, it is in the net. Frederick gets the free point and the ball.
Too little power on Berthoud's part, giving Tatiana the chance of serving for Frederick.
It is up and in. Berthoud, Libby. It is Tatiana to Marisol to Larkyn. Little too low on that ball, and it is in the net. Berthoud with the point.
She hit that ball just a bit too low while she was falling to the ground. That's when she hit the ball, when you want to jump up and hit it at the peak in order for it to go down.
Sydney Downey now serving. Ava to Marisol to Larkyn, who roll shots it in. Berthoud having to play out of system. Tatiana to Marisol to Gabby, who hits it out of bounds.
Gabby tried to hit that deep line corner, but unfortunately aimed a bit too much to the right, giving Berthoud the point.
And it looks like a timeout was called. Now let's hear from our sponsor, the yearbook. The 2024 Frederick High School yearbook staff is excited to capture the memories and moments of the 2024-25 school year. Please make sure that your FHS memories last forever by purchasing a 2025 yearbook. Prices will increase throughout the year, so buy your book now.
This might seem like Frederick is way behind here, but the set isn't even half over. Frederick has lots of time in order to reset and try and get more points for their team.
Exactly right. 9-2 may seem like a big difference now, but if Frederick is just able to keep a positive mindset and good energy, they can get this ball back and get these points. It is Sydney Downey. It is up and in. Ava to Marisol. Marisol to Larkyn, who tips it in.
That was a great play by Larkyn. She obviously saw that no one was covering the blocker on the left side. So she just did a light tip to the left side front and easily got the point for Frederick.
And this gives Maggie Haring the serve, who serves it deep corner. Set to outside by Berthoud. Tatiana to Marisol to Larkyn, who puts it down on that court, giving Frederick the point, making this game 9-4.
That was a great hit by Larkyn. Deep back right corner. Just barely grazed the passer's hands.
Maggie again. Berthoud able to keep this ball alive. Marisol to Addie, who tips it in. Larkyn back passes. Tatiana to Larkyn.
Larkyn thought that she could get over and hit it to front left, but seemed to hit it just wrong and hit right back onto Frederick's point, giving Berthoud the point.
Lisa Gobo now going to serve. It is Tatiana to Marisol to Larkyn. Berthoud having to be scrappy, free balls it in. Tatiana to Marisol to Larkyn, who tips it in this time and gets that point.
Great play by Larkyn. She saw again that no one was covering the hitter on the right side, so she just did a light tip over the net right behind the hitter, and it gave Kyla Borostic the chance to serve for Frederick.
Berthoud with the dig. Libby sets to her outside. Tatiana to Marisol. To Tatiana with the back row hit. Number 7, Carolyn Mahoney tried to get that ball over. However, it goes into the net, and Frederick now makes this game 10-6. Berthoud in the lead.
Just a bit too little power, hitting it barely clipping the net, giving Frederick the point.
Libby back sets to her middle. It is blocked. Kyla with the dig.
A very hard ball to dig from back center. She hit that ball so hard to the back center that Kyla flung in the air.
That was a tough ball to get up, but Kyla got it up anyway. However, it went out of bounds. It is Berthoud's ball. Marisol to Ava, who puts it down on that court.
Ava is very consistent when it comes to these down balls. She's able to get up at the right time and get the right angle on her hit to send it straight down to the middle of the court.
Frederick trying to make a comeback. Addison Strojink will serve. That is called out of bounds.
Tried to hit that deep left corner, but overcorrected a bit too much to the left and barely hit out by that deep corner, giving Frederick the point.
Addie again with the serve. Berthoud sets to outside, who tips it in. Good spot by number 8, Kendall Vigut.
Very good spot for Kendall. She noticed that no one was covering the blocker on the other side right beneath her, so she just did a easy tip and gave Berthoud another point.
Avery Tushin with the serve. Maggie to Marisol to Ava. Berthoud gets that ball back over. Kyla able to get it to her setter, and Tatiana free balls that ball in.
Great pass by Tatiana, just barely clipped over the net when they were expecting a deep ball. They all had to run back to the front to try and grab her ball, but little too late to give Frederick the point.
And that is what we like to call a free ball kill. Very rare in volleyball, but always fun to see. Ace by Marisol.
It's just a bad pass on Berthoud's part, giving Marisol another chance to serve.
Frederick has really come back into this game. The score is now only 12-10. Libby sets to her outside, who tips it in. Frederick not ready for that ball, and Kendall Viga is able to get that point for her team.
Good eyes on Kendall to see that behind the blocker there was no one. So she just did light tip behind the blocker, giving Berthoud another point.
Another strong server, Libby Wilson, going to serve for Berthoud. Tatiana to Kyla, to Gabby, who free balls it over. Back set. Lisa Gobo with the kill.
Berthoud has had some crazy hard balls to get. They have so much power behind their swing. If they're able to just get on top of it, it's almost impossible for Frederick to try and receive that.
Libby Wilson again with the serve. Ava to Marisol. To Gabby, who tips it in. Berthoud keeping it alive. Tatiana to Marisol. However, that ball was too close to the net. Berthoud with the point.
Good reach on Berthoud, able to get over the net and hit the ball back down on Frederick's court, giving them another chance to serve and get more points.
Libby Wilson again. Short serve this time. Tatiana able to get there, however. Kyla free balls it over. Berthoud pass to their outside to Kendall. Looks like the judges are calling it in or out. It looks like the line judges called that ball in.
That was a very close ball. It's very hard to determine if that ball was in or out, but the judges determined that it was out.
Ava to Marisol to Gianna, who tips it in. Freddie with the point.
Very good tip, able to read that no one was there, and it was very hard to get a good pass on that ball, giving Ava Reed the chance to serve for Frederick.
Berthoud with the dig. Berthoud having to free ball it over. Gianna Samarisol to Larkyn, who hits into the block. Freddie keeping it up. This play is still alive. However, Gianna, that ball went just below her hand, and it is Berthoud's point.
Gianna tried to get up and tip that ball back over the net, but just tried to do it a bit too short and wasn't able to get enough power on that ball or enough contact in order for it to go over the net.
Serving now is Kylie Meek. Ava to Marisol to Gabby. Berthoud hits into the block. However, it is called a touch out of bounds, and Berthoud gets that ball right back.
Frederick not able to push fully over the net, letting them hit into the block and going back on their own court, giving Berthoud another chance to serve.
Kylie again. Tatiana overpass, and Brooke Nelson up at that net.
Very hard ball to try and get back over for Frederick. Tatiana served it just a bit over, and Marisol was not able to get a tip back up and get it back over to Berthoud's side, giving Berthoud the point.
Looks like a timeout was called.
Frederick really needs that because right now they went on a very big win streak, but then seems like they got in their heads a lot, and now they have put themselves back in the position that they were before. And I think this timeout could help really reset their mental, try and get more consistent plays on the court, and just try and be more, work like a team in general.
I think that is the exact reason why the coach called this timeout, was for the players to reset, get back into that mindset of we need to win, let's score points, and just to keep being strong out there. The score is 19-11, not over yet. However, Frederick really needs to push and get 8 points in order to keep this game alive.
Frederick just needs to reset mentally and have the mindset in their head that they know that they can win and that they will win. Because if they think they can win, it leads to better outcomes on the court and as a team in general.
Frederick needing to keep strong as Kylie Meek will again serve. Into Ava, who overpasses Marisol, keeping it alive. Tatiana, deep tip. Libby Wilson with the hit. Marisol gets it up. A free ball over to Berthoud. Libby sets to her right side, and they are blocked by Frederick. However, that ball goes out of bounds. Berthoud with the point.
Good block by Frederick, but all they need to do is turn their hands into the court so that when it deflects off their hands, it goes in the court, versus when they deflect out, the ball goes outside of the court.
Kylie. Tatiana to Marisol to Gianna, who brings it down. Golden Eagles with the point.
Great hit by Gianna. She was able to hit deep back corner, which is the best spot a hitter could possibly hit, giving Tatiana another chance to serve for Frederick.
It is in. Berthoud. It is out of bounds. Brooke Nelson, too much power on that hit, and Freddie gets the ball back.
Brooke just put a bit too much power on that hit. Needs to drop her arm a little bit and try and get on top of it more than try and just hit it as hard as you can.
Tatiana with the ace.
That was a great ball by Tatiana. She served a float, which is where the ball doesn't spin midair, and it's very hard to read where it's going for defensive players, which makes it a lot easier to get aces.
Tatiana tried to short serve it, however it goes into the net.
Tatiana with a bit too short of a serve. I think she really needs to stay consistent on her deep serves because that's what she's especially good at.
Sydney Downey deep serves it to Ava, to Marisol, to Addie. Berthoud too close, and it is blocked. Berthoud keeping the ball alive, gets it in. Ava to Marisol, to Gabby. Berthoud again, too close a pass to the net. However, that ball is over, and Ava, or Larkyn, gets the point.
Good read by Larkyn. She saw that it was barely going over the net and that she was able to just do a quick jump up and just tip it right back down on Berthoud's side, giving Frederick the point.
It looks like the captain, Tatiana Staab, is going to talk to the ref for a second. Just making sure that that is our ball. Both teams choosing to huddle up during this time and just discuss what went well, what went wrong, and to get into this game mindset. It is 21-15. Maggie hoping to get Frederick back into this game. Berthoud, Libby back sets to her right side. Maggie with the dig to Marisol to Larkyn, who is blocked, and Tatiana able to get a touch on that ball. However, it goes out of bounds.
That was a great block on Berthoud's part. They were able to go up, get a nice consistent block over the net, did it right back on Frederick's face. Tatiana tried to get it up, but was unsuccessful, giving Berthoud the point and another chance to serve.
This time for Berthoud, Sasha Carter is going to be serving. Tatiana to Ava. Addie hits it with a little too much power, and it goes out of bounds.
Addie hit with just a bit too much power, and she was far enough from the net where she couldn't get a snap on that ball, not letting it go down and letting it just to go straight out of bounds.
Sasha again. Ava to Marisol to Larkyn, who tips it in. Berthoud keeping the ball alive. Free balls it over. Addie to Marisol. Joust keeping the ball alive. Larkyn. Ava passes to Larkyn again. However, it goes over and out of bounds. Freddie with the point.
That was a great tip on Frederick's part. They were able to get it over the net and fast, giving Berthoud not enough time to react to what they did, giving Frederick the point, and Kyla Verostic a chance of serving for Frederick.
Berthoud with the dig. Libby Wilson hitting it in. You really don't see that a lot from setters. However, Libby took the chance.
Very hard ball for Frederick. When there's that much space in between the passers and it's a deep ball like that, it gives very little time for them to try and receive that ball and to try and receive it well.
The score is 24-16. Number 7, Carolyn Mahoney, hoping to get that final point of the set for Berthoud. However, she does! Ava Reed hits right into the block, and Berthoud wins the 4th set. This game is going to now go to 5 sets. And the rule with 5 sets is that this last set will only go to 15 points.
I think both teams this entire game have been very competitive, but Frederick has started to lose some of their competitive sides. Like their blocking has gotten a little more sloppy with not being able to push over the net, and some of their hits have been less consistent.
And with that, we will be right back on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Well, it's some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try.
Only you.
Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about ring-top life. Nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfire.
And we are back. Both teams are now tied 2-2 in sets. A team needs to win 3 sets to win the game. This is all or nothing. It is the 5th set. This set only goes to 15 points, so every mistake matters.
Frederick needs to take this time to discuss what mistakes they've made over the past couple sets and how to fix the mistakes and start making positive changes, because that last set they were doing really bad for a period of time, and then they were doing really good. Then they were doing really bad, and they were doing really good. They need to find some sort of middle ground, or just they need to stay consistent with being good, because that's how you win games, is being consistently good and trying not to make the most amount of mistakes.
And everything matters in this set, so what is really going to show for both teams is how positive their mental attitude is.
Berthoud is going into the set with a very positive attitude with winning the last set very easily in their minds, but I think that this last set Frederick is going to show, because they've had the time to reset and they've had the time to discuss what's been wrong. So I think this last 15 points are going to be very competitive.
And every volleyball player knows that when you get to a 3rd or a 5th set, the mindset is it's first to 5, first to 10, first to 15. Take everything with a passion and don't give up.
The most important thing that both teams need to do is to not give up, because it may seem that a team is in a bad circumstance, but all it takes is a couple plays for that team to get a better mindset and a better team morale, which can lead to them winning the game even if they are in a point deficit.
And it looks like Freddie has won the serve, and Marisol Tenbrock will start us off. Berthoud, Libby sets to her outside, and it is out of bounds. The first point goes to Frederick.
A bit too much power on that, was trying to go over the blockers, but went a bit too much over and went out of bounds.
Marisol again. Libby sets to her outside. Kyla to Marisol, to Ava, who tips it in. Berthoud keeping the ball alive. Marisol sets to Ava again. Gabby to Marisol, to Gianna, who tips it over. Frederick needing to get scrappy, but they need to reset. Ava tips it far. It looks like this ball is called dead. A net touch by Berthoud.
This gives Marisol another chance to show us her amazing serves, and it gives them even more chances to win points.
Berthoud, Libby tips it over. Tatiana to Marisol, to Gabby. Setter is out. Berthoud having to improvise, and they do and get the point.
Good hit on Berthoud's part. They saw that there was a hole in the block, and they were able to hit right through it and deflect back on Frederick's court, giving Berthoud a point and the chance to serve.
This game is now 2-1. Everything matters. Libby Wilson. Ava Reed to Marisol, back to Ava. However, it is called out of bounds by the block. And Frederick gets the ball.
That was executed well on Berthoud's part, but seems like their hands were tilted a little bit too much to the outside, leading it to go outside on Frederick's court.
Looks like the Berthoud captain, number 10, Avery Tishkin, going to talk to the ref just to clear things up.
Probably discussing if there was a tip or if there was a touch on that last play, because it was very close to being a touch.
Looks like Frederick is going to keep the ball, and Ava Reed will serve. Berthoud. Tatiana to Marisol, to Gabby, who free balls it over. It looks like Frederick, that ball was not called dead, so they're going to keep going. Gianna with the tip. Berthoud. Number 8, Kendall Vega, able to get that point.
Bad block on Frederick's part. They weren't able to get high enough and over enough to try and deflect the ball back into the court, giving Berthoud more chances to serve.
Serving now, number 2, Kylie Meek. Tatiana to Marisol, to Larkyn, who tips it in. And it is put out of bounds. Frederick with the point.
Good insight on Larkyn's part. She saw that if she tipped it to the top left side, it was a very hard ball to read and to get to.
Tatiana with the serve. Hoping to make this game 5-2. Berthoud with the free ball. Tatiana to Marisol, to Gabby, who tips it in. Berthoud scrappy, keeping the ball alive. Marisol to Addie, who's blocked. Addie with the tip. Ava to Marisol, to Larkyn, who puts it down.
Very amazing hit by Larkyn. She was able to twist her body and hit cross court, being able to see and hit the line. Although seems like it's being discussed if it was in or not.
Looks like a discussion between the line judge and the refs.
Berthoud taking this time to discuss probably what's going on and how to keep consistent with the points. With Frederick winning that ball.
Looks like both captains now, Tatiana Staab and Avery Tishkin, talking to the ref. And Freddie gets to keep the ball. Tatiana Staab with the serve. Tatiana Staab with the deep serve. Libby sets to her middle. And however, it is still in play. Tatiana to Marisol, to Larkyn. That ball is in. Ava to Marisol. Marisol tips it in. However, Berthoud was ready for that. Libby Wilson went up and hit. Marisol back to Gabby. Berthoud back pass to their right side, who hits it into the net. Freddie gets the point.
Seems like Berthoud hit that ball just a bit too low, not giving him enough height to get over the net, giving Tatiana another chance to serve for Frederick.
It is up. Berthoud again having to be scrappy, free balling it over. Marisol to Larkyn, who puts it down.
Very good hit by Larkyn. She was able to see that she had very little block and was able to hit straight down onto Berthoud's court, giving Frederick the lead 6-2.
Frederick really starting off strong, especially in a set that matters so much about how much mistakes you made and how much mistakes the other team makes.
Fort Morgan. Berthoud is probably taking the time right now to discuss how to get their minds back in the game and how to try and reset their mental to try and beat Frederick. And Frederick is most likely talking about how to keep consistency well and how to keep doing what they're doing.
That is exactly right. I think Frederick is just taking a breather in this timeout, and I think Coach was just telling them to keep their mindsets up high and give her that energy to win this set. Tatiana Staab going to serve. It is in. Berthoud having to tip it over. Tatiana to Marisol to Addie. Addie tips it in and gets the point. It is now 7-2.
Great tip. They weren't able to read that ball very effective. They weren't able to keep control of it, giving Frederick the point and Tatiana a chance to serve.
It is in. Berthoud a set to their outside. Tatiana to Ava. To Larkyn to free ball it over. Set to their outside. Tatiana. Larkyn tries to keep that ball in play, however, she cannot, and Berthoud wins that point. It is now 7-3.
Tatiana tried to receive that ball, but put it in a position where no one was, and it was hard to get to. Larkyn tried to get it, but ultimately they did not get the point.
Sydney Downey now serving for Berthoud. Ava a little back pass. Tatiana able to get there though and give it to Addie, who tips it over. Berthoud, their right side, hits it out of bounds. Frederick with the point.
Berthoud with the very strong hit, just barely out of bounds. If they're able to get more on top of it and snap more on it, that is a deadly ball to try and receive.
Now serving is Maggie Haring. It is up and in! Maggie with the ace.
Good serve by Maggie. Berthoud was not able to read if it was in or out quick enough, and it gave Frederick the point and another chance to keep serving.
Maggie with the serve. Back set to their right side. Maggie to Tot. Larkyn will free ball it over. Berthoud sets to their outside, and it is put down on the court by number 4, Brooke Nelson.
Great hit by Berthoud, straight to Ava, but just a bit too low for Ava to try and get a good pass on it, giving Berthoud the point, and now they have a chance to keep getting points.
Sasha Carter. Maggie to Marisol to Addie. Berthoud keeping it alive. Brooke blocked. Back again to Brooke, who tips it over this time. Tatiana to Marisol to Larkyn, who hits it out of bounds. Berthoud with the point.
Larkyn tried to hit that deep corner, but fortunately there was a bit too much power on it, and it was aimed a bit too much to the right, giving Berthoud the point.
Sasha again. It is out of bounds.
Great read by Frederick to notice that it was out of bounds, giving Frederick a lead of 10-5.
Now remember, this is the 5th set, so Frederick only has to get 5 more points to end the game and win. It is up and in. However, Berthoud gets it over and out.
Berthoud made a great play there to try to get back over the net, but unfortunately it was a bit too sloppy and it went out on Frederick's side.
Kyla Verostic again with the serve, and it is in. Berthoud sets to their middle, who tips it in. Marisol to Tatiana, to Ava. Berthoud sets to their outside. It is touched by blockers. Tatiana able to keep that ball alive. And put down by Ava Reed. The game is now 12-5.
Great ball by Ava. She really knows how to get on top of that and hit it straight in the middle of the court. This gives Frederick a commanding lead, giving them a great chance at winning this game.
Kyla will keep serving. However, this time it is in the net.
Kai was very consistent with serves, but there must have been a footwork issue or a toss issue and little power behind the swing. This gives Berthoud another chance to serve and get more points.
Number 7, Carolyn Mahoney. Kyla to Marisol, to Ava. Berthoud gets the dig. Hits it over. Tatiana to Marisol, who tips it over. Berthoud having to refocus. Tatiana to Marisol, to Ava. Hits it deep corner. Berthoud keeping it alive. Tipped by Berthoud, who is out of bounds. It is now 13-6. Frederick only needs to get 2 more points, and they win the game.
Berthoud tried to tip that ball back over the net, but fortunately, he tipped it a bit too high and hit the ceiling and went out.
Now serving Addison Strojing. It is in. Berthoud sets to their outside. Almost blocked by the Golden Eagles, however, it just barely touches their hands and goes out of bounds.
They just need to get a bit more height on that ball, and they need to get a bit more turn inside the court so that it doesn't ricochet off their hands and into their own court.
Number 10, Avery Tishkin. Marisol to Ava, who is blocked. However, Marisol keeping that ball alive. It is still in play. Marisol to Ava, who hits it out of bounds.
Ava with a bit too much power on that play. Just hit it barely out of bounds, deep corner. This gives Berthoud more chances to keep serving and more chances to keep getting points.
Avery Tishkin again with the serve. It is up. Kyla to Marisol, to Ava. Berthoud keeping the ball alive. Maggie, Marisol, Gianna, who gets the point.
Great job on Gianna's part. She was able to get to the top of her reach and get that ball over. This makes it match point for Frederick, 14-8.
Marisol Tenbrock with the serve, hoping to maybe get an ace as the last point of the game. Libby Wilson hits it over. Kyla passes it too far out of bounds, and Berthoud is still alive in this game.
Great try by Kyla to get that up, but it was just too fast of a ball to try and get a great pass off of it. She got what she could have, but unfortunately this gives Berthoud more chances to serve and get points.
Libby Wilson hoping to keep it alive. It is Tatiana, Marisol, Gabby. Berthoud having to be a little scrappy. Hits it in. Kyla. Ava. Too close to the net, and Berthoud will keep the point. It is now 14-10 with a timeout called.
I think Frederick has been very consistent with this last set, but these past couple plays, they're starting to get, I think, less confident about themselves because since they are only 1 point from winning, it puts an image in their head that they already know they're going to win, which gives players a bad mindset when it comes to actually doing plays because it takes away mentality from it, and it can affect your physical aspect when it comes to volleyball.
I think you're exactly right. I think Frederick is going to use this timeout to clear their head. Remember that they are still in this game. Berthoud could totally make a comeback. Not very likely, but it is still always a possibility. Like we said earlier, a game is not over until it is over. Libby Wilson, who has been a strong server all night, going to serve for Berthoud. Ava to Marisol to Gabby, who hits into the block and out of bounds and wins this game.
Great way for Frederick to win, 15-10. Great hit by Gabby at the end, and a good block, but sadly just tilted a bit too much outward.
Beautiful win by Frederick. Really had to come through on that one. Having to play 5 sets is always tough for either teams, and being able to keep that energy high and the mindset good, I think it's great that Frederick won their homecoming game.
This must have been very tiring on both teams because going to 5 sets isn't easy. Volleyball is a very physically active sport, and it can be tough on people mentally and physically to try and get through all 5 sets of this.
And we thank Berthoud for playing here. They did very well, especially with how loud our rowdy crowd was. I mean, you could feel it shaking from up here. And I think that tonight the Golden Eagles did well. They were able to stay in this game, keep playing, and play to their best of their ability.
Both teams were very consistent during the entire game. Serves were very consistent and hits. Ava Reed had some crazy hits, and Berthoud had some crazy hits.
Now let's go down to our third member of the team on the sideline, Caleb Whitler with Larkyn Harford.
All right, we're down here with Larkyn. Larkyn, you had a couple great plays down the end of the game. How did that help with your guys' momentum to win that?
I think basically like getting a kill just makes us so hyped, and when we're hyped, we win.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Larkyn. Good game. Back up to you.
Did they not get it? Sorry. Tonight's broadcast of FHS Volleyball has been brought to you by a talented crew of students here on GEBN, the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. I've been sophomore Frieda Wichman alongside junior Carson Matthews. Our director is sophomore Ethan DeLear. Our camera operators are sophomores Cole Stanton and Austin Gibbs. Our production assistant is freshman Marcus Key. The third member of our team down on the sideline is freshman Caleb Whitler. It's homecoming week on GEBN, and that means tomorrow is our homecoming special. Join a special crew of announcers as your Golden Eagles look to get their first win of the season against the in-district rival, the Skyline Falcons, tomorrow night at 6:45. For everyone here at FHS, I'm Frieda Wichman, and you've been watching the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.